What's up, guys? We have a great episode ahead for you today. We are going to be talking some NBA season preview ahead of tomorrow or today, Tuesday, whenever you're listening to this, the action that begins on opening night. We have a check-in with Air Adam. He's going to be with us for the first time in a while. Missed you, bud. So look forward to that. We did just want to give a little caveat. We started filming right before and finished filming right before all of the news came out about the NBA re-signings of potential restricted free agents. So for the massive Jonathan Isaac 4-year, $80 million deal, the massive Markelle Fultz 3-year, $50 million deal, Kennard getting 4 for 64, OG getting 4 for 72. So that's something that I'm sure we would have wanted to comment on. So if you're listening to this right now, just wanted to say Zach and I are unanimously in disapproval of all of those moves. We think that spending $130 million on two guys who aren't even in probably the top 3 right now of your team, if you're the Magic, is not a very smart move. It's almost like these teams don't learn from their mistakes. You know, signing Aaron Gordon to that massive deal. They signed Vucevic to that massive deal last summer, and I bet you they're already trying to get rid of that too. So, yeah, it doesn't seem very smart to sign Markelle Fultz to a 3-year, $50 million deal when he hasn't averaged more than 12 points, 5 assists for you, and you just drafted Cole Anthony in the first round. So, you know, it's fine if you want to keep Jonathan Isaac, who's a young, promising star, but he's going to have a torn ACL this year. And then if you're the Raptors, I don't know what you're doing going out and spending $72 million on OG, but not sure if those markets would have been worth it. If you're the Clippers and you're trying to compete against the Lakers, why are you signing Luka Kennard to 4 years, $64 million, unless he's going to be the piece that stays there after Paul George and Kawhi leave? So that is our 2 cents. I just wanted to throw that out there at the beginning of the podcast. Again, this is a very great podcast where we really dive into the NBA and offer some predictions for all the awards and season outcomes. So it's a great one, and feel free to listen or watch on whatever platform you want. We are now on YouTube and Spotify. So however you're listening to this or watching this, please continue and enjoy the podcast. Thanks. Hello and welcome into the 19th episode of Unmasked. We are back. We are back, baby. It has been a while, but we are here.
We're back.
We are now not only on Spotify, you could be watching us on YouTube now. We have, since our last episode, created a YouTube account. Look up Unmasked on there. Instagram at Unmasked Pods, Twitter at Unmasked Pods, TikTok at Unmasked Podcast, Facebook Unmasked page. Wherever you want to see us, you are seeing us now, hearing us, and we are excited to be back and back with a vengeance. So I want to hear how you guys are doing. First, Adam, it's been way too long. Air Adam, how are you doing, man? Let's have a mid-flight check-in.
A mid-flight check-in with Air Adam.
How's the turbulent senior year?
Turbulent senior year, man. It's been all right. Kind of planning like a huge game for my class right now. We're all running around each other, killing each other with water guns. So it's been quite an interesting senior year, especially with COVID and everything. But,
is your camera green?
Yeah, did you just go green, Adam?
No.
Oh, it looks very green.
Really?
I don't know why.
Yeah, my camera isn't great because I had to get a camera during COVID, and we didn't have any at my work. So this is what I got.
Oh, well, now it's
Oh,
back to
you're
normal,
good now.
Yeah, I don't know what that was.
That's cool. Water guns, though? What's that for?
It's just basically just for the senior class. We have like a big jackpot. It's at like $2,000 right now. So the winning team gets $2,000. But you just run around shooting each other with water guns. You got to sneak up on your opponent, shoot them, get it on video.
You planned this?
Play?
I planned it with other people, and yes, I am playing in it. I got shot at work the first time.
Isn't that not fair if you planned it?
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, it's made in a way to where we don't have an advantage over anyone else. Like, we're just reviewing footage and making calls on whether or not we think they were shot.
How'd they get you at work?
My car is parked out. Everyone knows what car I have. I have the most basic silver Mustang with a UT emblem on the back.
What's the license plate?
Hokum. Yes. No, not the license plate. Just an emblem. Just an emblem on the a silver emblem, and then I also have like a modified exhaust, so everyone knows what my car looks like. And so someone just was waiting for me at work because they knew we closed at 8, so I had to come out sometime around then. So they just waited for me. But what I ended up doing was I ran away. I ran back into work because they can't shoot me at work. And I ran back into work. But as soon as I stepped out, they had someone else come from around the corner that I couldn't see, and they just assaulted me. I got
Oh.
absolutely sprayed with water. But it was funny, and everyone at my work saw it, and I was embarrassed. But I thought it was pretty funny too after.
Well, thanks for taking the time to come back on this podcast in the middle of your water gun fight, because
Oh, of
I know
course.
everyone's missed you. Didn't you make a happy birthday video to your biggest fan, Zach's friend, for his birthday?
Oh yeah, Blum.
Yeah, I did. I did. I
Yeah.
had to make a little appearance for the birthday shout out.
So you're
Appreciate
definitely the love of Unmasked, and we're happy to have you back, man.
I'm the spirit animal of Unmasked.
All right, well, we are happy to be back, and there's so much that has happened, and we're not going to try to cover it all. Today, we're going to go through a little bit of the NBA season preview with the season starting tomorrow or today, whenever you're listening to this. Tuesday, the 22nd is when it kicks off. But first, Zach, I want to get your opinion on some of the hot button stuff from the weekend, because it is Monday morning. Did you see Tiger and his son? What did you think about that?
That was crazy. How old is that kid?
He's 11, right?
11 years old. Like that's scary, man.
With the fist pump and everything. He was looking just like his dad.
Yeah, I mean, for real, it was very impressive.
That was definitely a highlight. A highlight for Jaguars fans was the Jets getting their first win and ruining tank for Trevor. Was there any thought in your mind that Sam Darnold was going to go into LA and beat the Rams and Sean McVay?
Yes, there was that. I thought they were gonna lose, considering they won. I don't understand what the point of getting that win is.
I don't get it.
But
They just lost Trevor Lawrence, so I mean,
they just lost Trevor Lawrence.
that's what they get, honestly, for that Oakland collapse. That Hail Mary a couple weeks ago when they should have won, and they just let the guy slip into the let Henry Ruggs get behind the entire defense. Man, come on. They deserve to win.
Can't do that.
Yeah. So I guess Trevor Lawrence is going to Florida now. He can be a little bit happier. I would rather be on the Jaguars, I think, than the Jets. Just a better run organization. All right, and then the other thing is college football playoff, just really quickly. I know Kellen Mond of A&M was very upset that they were excluded. I want to know, we're all Texans here. None of us are Aggie fans, but want to know if you guys think A&M should have been in over Notre Dame, because they got blown out against Clemson. They don't really have a quality win besides a Trevor Lawrence-less Clemson team, or over OSU because they only played 6 games. And as a Michigan fan, I'm not opposed to having OSU out of the college football playoff. So does A&M deserve a spot in the CFP?
That's a tough question, Jordan, because I mean, yeah, there's so many things to consider there. I think either way it could be argued. I feel bad for my Aggie friends getting kind of snubbed, but yeah, I mean, I'd say they do deserve a spot, honestly. They played really well this season. A lot of praise to Jimbo Fisher. A&M is a quality football team, and they probably should have made the playoffs.
Yeah, I guess their only quality win, though, was against Florida, who, after that LSU loss and then losing to Bama again in that close one championship game, they had 3 losses. So A&M technically doesn't have a quality win other than Florida.
I mean, that Florida one was huge, though.
Yeah, but Florida finished with 3 losses. That LSU loss killed A&M's resume. I saw something really funny that was like, who would have thought that Trevor Lawrence getting COVID would have taken A&M out of the college football playoff?
Wow, that's actually –
if he plays, Notre Dame has 2 losses, Notre Dame doesn't get in.
Huh. Wow.
It's pretty unreal. And Kellen Mond was retweeting everything. He was so mad. And I don't blame him, because Texas A&M did everything in their power except beating Alabama.
Yeah, which is like, how do you beat Alabama?
Right. It was so early in the season, too. Yeah, it should be a really interesting college football playoff. I think that it was the right choice based on what happened. I just don't think it was very fair to A&M because they did everything in their power except beat Alabama. It just happened to work out that way, but I wouldn't have changed it, I don't think, in my opinion. All right, well, we don't want to waste any more time with the NBA season right around the corner, but that was a little bit around the world of sports, I guess. And just a reminder, I know I mentioned it at the top of the podcast, but make sure to subscribe to this if you're watching this on YouTube, or continue listening if you're on Spotify, and check out all of our social media pages that are in the description below on this YouTube page. You can look at all of our accounts. It's kind of weird. We have to like now be a little bit more aware of what we look like, right? Like this has been 18 episodes and we haven't even had any video, but now it's like Unmasked expanding. Gotta throw that hat on.
It's about time.
What's under that hat, Zach? Want to show the world?
Maybe
Nah,
maybe
it's
a later
okay.
episode.
It's okay. All right.
See,
Well, when we
Zach's
come
hair
back,
is a
we will
surprise.
be here with some NBA predictions. We got MVP, Rookie of the Year, Most Improved Player, DPOY, Coach of the Year, Dark Horses for the playoffs, Finals matchups, you name it. We're gonna run through it because the NBA season starts tomorrow, which is crazy to say because I feel like it was just like a month ago that the Lakers won. But I'm excited, and I hope you guys are too. So when we come back, NBA season preview on Unmasked. And we are back on Unmasked. I have my Luka jersey right here. I'm ready. I'm all ready for the season. That was nice, by the way, to have Adam on for a little bit. Air Adam, good little check-in.
I guess.
We miss him. All right, man. Let's get into it. So, first off, I guess we haven't been on since the whole offseason happened, but was there an offseason move that was super breathtaking? I mean, I'm trying to think. Montrezl Harrell to the Lakers, like, is that going to be the biggest difference?
Holiday move was crazy.
Yeah. We talked about that one, though.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one. Okay.
No, we did. Like last time we touched on it.
Yeah. We did talk about that one. That was probably the most significant to me. Yeah, I mean, there were like minor ones that I think could make a big difference, like Dennis the Menace going to LA,
Yeah.
all going to LA, Serge Ibaka going to the Clippers. I think Lakers are definitely a much better team than last year, which is scary considering they won the championship last year.
That's scary. Yeah, a lot of the big trades happened before we did the podcast last time. Since there was just some signings, I think like they just filled a role on really good teams. So like the really good teams got better. I would say that Bogdan Bogdanovic going to Atlanta with Danilo Gallinari may have made them into a playoff team. I don't think Gordon Hayward to Charlotte makes them a playoff team, but that's certainly a noteworthy move because of the amount of money that the Hornets are giving Gordon Hayward. But other than that, I mean, I guess Steven Adams to the Pelicans, that was kind of I didn't see that one coming at all. I know the Pelicans need a center.
It adds a lot of value to their team because they didn't really have a great, like, reliable center.
Right. It was Derek Favors, and he wasn't anything special.
Derek Favors, come on.
that is a good move.
In the future, but not yet.
Yeah. No, so yeah, those are – and Tristan Thompson to the Celtics I think also filled a nice need for them.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
But they lost Gordon Hayward, so I wouldn't say they like ultimately won for agency, but they definitely didn't lose either.
I don't know if they wanted to bring back Gordon Hayward because at that much money, I don't know if he was worth it. And the emergence of Jaylen Brown makes that a little bit easier to digest if you're a Celtics fan.
Right. I mean, but you're still talking about losing a guy who put up 17 a night, which is not easy to make up for.
Yeah.
And Tristan Thompson's not going to be the one to do it.
No.
But I mean, that said, like, I don't think obviously for money concerns, like it made a lot more sense for him to leave.
In drafting Aaron Nesmith and Peyton Pritchard, they have some young guards that they can throw in there. Romeo Langford too, that they can give some more time to.
Romeo Langford used to be. He was in his high school. I know his like highlights are insane.
Yeah, he was a top recruit. I watched him play from afar, Michigan, Indiana, and he can really play. So
yeah, we'll see.
Happy for him to get some more time.
Where did Wanamaker go? Is he still in the Celtics?
Wanamaker signed with the Golden State Warriors.
Right. That's
Jeff Teague signed with the Celtics actually to replace.
Oh yeah, nobody's talked about that one. That's honestly could be pretty interesting.
Yeah, Jeff Teague's a little washed, but definitely can be serviceable as a backup. And I think Kemba, with his struggles and injuries just through the years, I think Jeff Teague coming in there with his playoff experience too, he can be a leader in that second unit.
Yeah, dude. In all my fantasy basketball leagues, Kemba goes so low, like so low.
Yeah, he can buy
I
low.
guess he's not really a fantasy like beast anymore because he doesn't like get that many assists or anything. It's mostly just scoring, but he goes so low, dude.
He
Uh,
it's probably because you have an emerging star in Jaylen Brown who's scoring 20 a game, and then you have Jason Tatum who's taken a giant leap forward as maybe an alpha dog, franchise player here in the league. And so Kemba's not used to that. He was used to just stat padding Trae Young in it down in the east bottom of the East with Charlotte. So
it's just weird because like last year wasn't he an all star?
he was an all-star this past year. He was
Yeah,
an
and
all-star.
so I
So
feel like I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess you're right.
the bubble wasn't too kind to him.
Right, the bubble honestly speaks so much about how like the outlook on these players. Like
Mhm.
TJ Warren goes pretty high now.
Yeah.
And Tyler Hero goes so high. But
I wanted to make TJ Warren my most improved player, and I'll touch on that in a little bit. But I didn't realize he averaged 20 points a game last year. So it's like, how
really,
much is he going to improve from
I
that?
didn't know that. That's interesting.
He's not an all-star. He will never be an all-star. And he averaged 20 points a game last year. So where's the middle where it's a big increase that could win him most improved player? I don't think he can improve without being more than what I think he's capable of. So I think he's just a very serviceable player, maybe a great fantasy player. I just don't think he's going to win most improved player anytime soon, which is a shame because if the bubble had that award, he would have won it for sure.
Right.
But oh well. All right. Well, let's go into our season preview. So let's start at the top with MVP. I'll let you go first because I've struggled with this a little bit.
MVP. Okay, before the Vegas odds came out, before all that good stuff, I went out and said I'm putting money. I would put money on Luka Doncic MVP, and I stand by that. I think he is the most outstanding player in the league, and then I mean, honestly, I think Giannis is still the best, like most valuable player, but voter fatigue,
They're
right?
not
He's
giving
not
it to him.
3 years in a row. I think they're going to hand it to Luka. My dark horse for this award would be Anthony Davis. It's kind of his time to shine, but I think Luka's probably going to claim the award this year.
So I have a question for you because Luka is the overwhelming favorite. Like that's not a secret. But I have a question on Anthony Davis because I like that as a dark horse originally, and I thought about this a lot. So Anthony Davis is probably the next in line to take the leap. It definitely on the Lakers. He's probably trending a lot more higher than LeBron James is. But with all the scrutiny that the media has faced with jipping LeBron on MVPs in the past and how he's only won 4, he could win every year. Do you think they would ever give it to one of his teammates over him? Like, what would that say about LeBron? Like, he's not even the most valuable player on his own team. I feel like they can't do that to him while he's still in the league.
I definitely didn't think about that. I don't know. I mean, he like after he won the championship, he was big about making a point of communicating the idea that he was passing the torch to Anthony Davis and this was his team now and stuff. So I think there's definitely something to be said for what you're saying about kind of how he's still the most valuable player on that team, but Davis just like he's so good, dude.
I agree.
Talent, yeah, it is a very media award. It's kind of how the media paints these guys, but at the end of the day, Anthony Davis is definitely going to be in the conversation for most valuable player because he is one of the most valuable players in the NBA and maybe the most.
Yeah, he was in the conversation last year. And I'm not doubting his credibility. I think he could win the award. I just don't think they would do that to everyone because imagine all the LeBron haters that would come out and say, "Oh my God,
he gets carried by Davis."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? They wouldn't do that to LeBron. I feel like it's more of a gift to then not give it to Davis at all than to pick a person on the Lakers and say, "Look how good the Lakers were this year."
Right. So you're right. I think
we'll see.
In that sense, I guess I'll mostly stand with Luka.
But LeBron could get hurt or really slow down.
Yeah,
and if it's overly justified, then I think they can do it. But if it's close, I just can't. If LeBron has a season like he did last year, I just can't see them giving it to Anthony Davis. But I have a dark horse also. So my dark horse, I think Luka. I don't want to say Luka because I'm obviously Luka fan here. If you're watching on YouTube, I got my Luka jersey. I'm a huge Mavs fan. I don't want to be a homer and say Luka because that's just the obvious pick too. I originally was like, ooh, I really want to pick KD because I think the Brooklyn Nets are going to be really good. And unlike the Anthony Davis-LeBron scenario, Kevin Durant is the overwhelming best player on that team. and they're not caring about Kyrie Irving. They're going to give it to Durant, and that's going to be. I think the Nets are going to be a top 4 team in the East potentially. So I could see them giving it to him, but I want to hedge with the injury because that's an Achilles for a guy who's seven
Right.
feet tall. So I want to give a fun pick here. So Katie's my dark horse. I want to say Dame. I want to go Dame time.
That's a valid pick.
He's smack in the middle of his prime. This is when he would have to win it. This is like his Westbrook, his Harden year where like after this, the grass is not going to be greener on the other side. I think last year was a good stepping stone. He just started to go nuts, but they weren't very good. I think now with everyone healthy, it's going to be a good team. They could be like Brooklyn, like a top 4 team in their conference. And Dame's going to be the overwhelming best player on that team. And he just has all the hype around him. Everyone loves Dame. They know he's gotten snubbed on all-star games before. This is his time to go out and have a crazy season and win the MVP.
Honestly, yeah, that's a good pick. I didn't think about that. But yeah, Dame definitely can make a strong case. I would not be surprised if Damian Lillard was MVP.
Yeah. I don't think Vegas is either because I looked at the odds here. So tell me which one you like the best here. Luka is the overwhelming favorite, like I said. Then you got Giannis.
What is his, like, plus 450 or something?
Plus 410.
Plus 410.
Giannis is plus 480, so I guess not overwhelming. But Giannis at plus 480, I just don't think they're going to give it to him 3 times.
Yeah, no, I would not take that.
Hasn't happened since Larry Bird. Steph Curry is plus 850.
I thought Michael Jordan, no?
Michael Jordan, I don't think ever won it 3 times in a row. I think Larry won it because they kept. Remember in the Last Dance, they gave it to Karl Malone one year. They gave it, and that was always his fire that
David
kept burning.
Robinson or something. Yeah.
Steph Curry's plus 850. I don't think the Warriors are going to be good enough. I think they'll be good. I don't think they'll be good enough. Anthony Davis is plus 1,000.
You think the Blazers will be good enough?
Yeah, I do because I think McCollum is going to be one of my picks. I like to do this every year. Just say like first-time All-Stars. I think McCollum's going to have his first All-Star game this year. And then Nurkic is going to be back for the full year. They brought back Melo. They got Covington.
That's a huge acquisition.
A lot of guys. I really like the team. They brought in Derrick Jones Jr. just for some more wing depth. I like the Blazers. I think they were off to a good start last year, and it really got hampered by injury. They brought back Rodney Hood. I like the team. And then to round out the last one, Anthony Davis and Kevin Durant are both plus 1,000. James Harden is plus 1,300. I wouldn't bet on him. We don't know where he's going to be. LeBron's plus 1,500. Dame and Kawhi are both plus 1,900. I don't think Kawhi is going to play enough games.
Probably not.
But that's and Kawhi also has the LeBron thing there, where Paul George is, I think, going to be good enough where it's going to be hard to separate like the Anthony Davis LeBron. Like with those duos, sometimes it's too close to pick one. So, but yeah, it's the MVP. I really think Dame, this could be his year. I hope.
Yeah. That's a valid pick.
All right. Well, Rookie of the Year. Let's hear your thoughts on that.
Dude, I feel so basic, but I gotta go with my boy LaMelo Ball. I just think that his situation is so beautifully set up for him, where he has so much pressure on him, but also Gordon Hayward is probably their franchise player right now, and he's super prone to injury. He's already injured right now, and LaMelo Ball is probably their number 1/number 2 option. And he's very talented. I just don't really see anybody who's in that prime of a position. So I got to go with LaMelo, and I feel like Vegas probably agrees with me. I haven't checked those odds, but my number 2 would be James Wiseman. I think he looked really good. And he's also kind of set up nicely with kind of like a very clear starting center role with Steph Curry. Like, it's a great system to be in. But I think it's gonna go to LaMelo.
Yeah, that is the overwhelming favorite. He's plus 350 on OddsShark here. So, yeah, did you see his passes in the preseason?
Yeah, dude, those like behind the back one. That was crazy.
Did you see the one with the backspin that he led him on the break?
Yeah. Yes.
Pulling for these teammates here in the closing minutes.
James Berger trying to work in some guys as well.
I'm going to put that in this. So if you're watching on YouTube, you probably just saw it. It was, oh my God, that pass was insane. It backspun to Malik Monk, like for him for a perfect layup.
That was insane.
Crazy. I think, yeah, you're right, especially with the volume. Like, they're going to have to rely on him more than I would say other teams are going to rely on their rookies. But I don't want to go, like I said with Luka, I just don't want to go with the popular pick. And so my like dark horse, which is actually just going to be my rookie of the year pick because I really like him. I don't know if you've seen him in the preseason. Malachi Flynn. Do you know who this is?
No.
He was late first rounder, I think 29th overall to the Raptors. He played at San Diego State University. He's a 22-year-old, so he's really developed. He was in college for a while. But, yeah, San Diego State. So
I love my
Kawhi.
San Diego State boys.
Yeah. Next Kawhi, basically.
Kawhi.
But he looked good in the preseason. And they didn't have Lowry, so they were just playing Malachi Flynn and Fred VanVleet in the backcourt. And he torched, I forget who, I think it was, I don't want to say the Magic. I think maybe it was the Hornets. I think it was the Hornets. And he was 7 of 12 for 17 points in his debut. And VanVleet was 9 of 12 for 23 points. So that backcourt was just like lighting up the entire game. And there was one play where it was in the fourth quarter, really close game. And he just like dribbled up and shot clock was winding down. And he just splashed it right in the Hornets' face from deep. And he just had that composure. Like, this guy is like a developed guy. And so I think he's going to come in. The Raptors lost a lot of scoring. They're not super deep anymore. I think they're going to rely on him. I like Nick Nurse for development purposes. I think this is like the Kyle Kuzma breakout late first rounder that in a weak-ish draft class can really take the Rookie of the Year award. So Malachi Flynn, book it.
Speaking of torching, did you see that Kyle guy shot over the Warriors?
Yes. Oh,
Dude,
my
gosh.
gosh.
I was watching the end of that game with my dad, and I was like, who is this dude? Like, Kyle guy. He was just like nailing threes in the Warriors back to back to back. They were down. And then he hits that game winner. But that was insane. That was insane.
I mean, who is this guy, Kyle Guy? He just won the national championship with Virginia 2 years ago.
Oh, right.
He was like the best player on that team. He was the one who got fouled on the three in the Final Four and made all 3 free throws to beat Auburn.
Oh,
that was
right.
He's
I
he's a beast.
forgot about him.
No,
But,
yeah, he's because I don't think he got drafted. So
yeah,
he went undrafted.
put up some
So for Rookie of the Year odds, I just want to read this out. I guess some people share my Malachi Flynn obsession. So LaMelo Ball's one, like I said. Then James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Obi Toppin, Killian Hayes, Denny Avdija, which that could be one too on a Wizards team that may be a little better than people think now. Isaac Okoro, Tyrese Halliburton, and then Malachi Flynn. And then Bol Bol. Bol Bol
Where's
qualifies as a
Devin
rookie. What'd you say?
Who's Devin Vassell?
Devin Vassell is not listed. Oh, yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. He's under Tyrese Maxey. He's plus 6,600. Can't speak today. But Josh Green is right under him, too. I don't think he's going to win. Precious Achua is a good dark horse, too, just because the Heat love to develop players well. That's what I would look at for this is who's going to have the opportunities available and then who's good at player development. Dennis Smith Jr. in his rookie year had so much opportunity available. It was his team, literally. There was no one else.
Right.
But Rick Carlisle is not that great at developing young players. I know Luka, but traditionally up to that point, Rick Carlisle didn't like young rookies. So look at the coaches who have a good track record of that. Nick Nurse, with all his development with Siakam and Fred VanVleet, this could be a guy in Malachi Flynn that takes the next step pretty quickly. But Bol Bol's really interesting. I didn't know he qualified as a rookie.
Yeah, that is really interesting. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah. All right. You got a most improved player? That's what I have next on my list here.
Improved player, MPJ.
I like it.
It's a pretty clear option for me just because his Bell performance was outstanding. I got a lot of love for MPJ. He was supposed to be the first overall pick, got hurt, whatever, went much lower to the Nuggets, who were already such a fire team. I think he's going to be insane this year, and I'll take him as my most improved.
So I was thinking about that. Jamal Murray is actually the betting favorite right now. Michael Porter Jr. is third. Shai Gilgeous is second. And Tyler Hero is fourth, of course. I was thinking about Jaren Jackson Jr. just because I think he's really talented. I think Memphis will be better. But Jaren Jackson averaged 17 points a game. Again, if he's not like, it has to be a huge step up. And I don't think Jaren Jackson Jr. is about to average 30 a game this year.
Yeah,
So I picked another Raptor because I like Nick Nurse. I also wanted to say MJTJ Warren, but again, I told you he's averaged 20 last year. So I picked Chris Boucher, the Pascal Siakam in waiting. He is ready to take on Ibaka's role with Gasol leaving. Also, he played some center last year, so he's now just with Siakam and Baines in this very thin front court in Canada / Tampa Bay, wherever they're playing this year. And so I think they're going to have to rely more heavily on his offense. He showed a lot of flashes last year. There were some games where he posted some nice double-doubles. He's 27, so like he's now in his prime. He's 6'9". He averaged 6.6 points last year in only 13 minutes. So if you give him 36 minutes, his per 36 was 18, 12, and 3 line. He's someone who can just put it up in a hurry. He's just gifted, athletic. Another really versatile forward in this offense, and I think Nick Nurse will find a way to use him. And I don't know. I think Chris Boucher can take home the award this year.
Chris Boucher, that's an interesting pick. Is he going to be a starter this season?
I think so. I mean, I feel like you would with Pascal, or maybe they start Baines. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they start. I mean, maybe by the end of the season he'll be starting though. So that's it. Yeah, I never thought about Chris Boucher seriously. But yeah, it's definitely a dark horse, valid pick in terms of how it's set up.
He showed some development last year, so maybe we can see it. All right. Well, to go through the odds a little bit here, just so we can know what's going on. Like I said, Jamal Murray's up top, Shai, MPJ, Hero, Ayton, Kobe White, Christian Wood, Jaren Jackson Jr., Zion, Chris Boucher, De'Aaron Fox, OG Anunoby, Jaylen Brown, and then it gets kind of ridiculous.
Christian Wood is interesting. I didn't think about him, but that actually makes sense.
I think so, but again, he had a really good year last year, so he would really have to step it up this year. And being on the Rockets, who knows what his share of the shots is going to be. He was 13. I guess he was only 13-6 last year, but I think now he's on people's radar, you know. But I guess that didn't stop Luka from getting votes. So
yeah,
who knows? All right, what's the next one you have?
Sixth man of the year.
All right, let's hear it.
Kyle Kuzma.
Okay.
That's a hot take. I don't think the odds really agree with me on that one, but Kuzma, I mean, dude, he's still like people roast him all the time, but I mean, at the end of the day, he'd be a starter on most teams, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. And I think he knows he has a lot of pressure on him, and I think he could really show some development this year and prove that he's a bona fide good player. And sixth man of the year is just waiting for him.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one because again, the Lakers are gonna be really good, and normally they take a guy who either puts up crazy stats or is just one of the main contributors on a really good team. That's why like Lou Williams is always a great bet because I mean he's been on a great team forever, and you know he's gonna score. I'm not gonna go Lou Williams because that's the overwhelming favorite for this one. I do like Kyle Kuzma. Jeff Teague makes an appearance on here too, which is a little interesting. I think I'm going to go with I have one that I like, which is Jordan Clarkson. The Jazz gave him 4 years, $52 million. They're going to want to use him a lot. He's someone who stepped in and just picked up the slack when Mike Conley wasn't playing well last year. And he's a walking bucket, as Reggie Miller likes to say. He's someone who can just come in and pour on the points. Jordan Clarkson, you know, just can average 15 points any given night, any game. You can just throw that up with ease. I do really like Danilo Gallinari as a dark horse because the Hawks, the Hawks have not been starting him in the preseason. And with all of the wings they've drafted in the past couple of years, I think he's going to come off the bench, which doesn't mean that he's not going to be a scorer. And technically, to be a six man, you have to score. I mean, they don't say that, but all these guys are just bona fide scorers. So I like Gallinari if you're trying to take a risk here, but I do really like Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's pretty safe, I feel like.
Yeah. All right, the odds for this one got Lou, Dennis, Schroeder, Jordan Clarkson. You got Trez to repeat at plus 1,100. Davis Bertans, that's a decent one. Spencer Dinwiddie, he'll be on a good team also. Tyler Hero, I feel like he may start. Danilo, Norman Powell, Serge Ibaka, Terrence Ross, Brandon Clark, JJ Redick, Aaron Holiday, Chris Boucher. Could he sweep the award season? And then Gary Trent, George Hill, Jeff Teague. So we'll see. This will be really fun because I don't really know what the starting lineups are going to look like come January or February, whenever the season gets rolling. So we will see. All right, Defensive Player of the Year.
DPOY, my DPOY is Ben Simmons. That man can guard literally any position on the floor, and he does it well. He clamps like nobody else, and I'd give it to Ben Simmons.
Did he make his first all defense team last year? I know that.
Yeah, I think so.
I know he made it. I don't know if it was his first one though, but he was starting to get a lot of love right before the shutdown for his defense on every broadcast. That Philly was always on a national broadcast. They were always touting his defense. He was All NBA defensive first team last year, so
right.
Not a bad option there. I think you're right. He can guard literally anyone on the floor. I'm gonna go with Bam Adebayo here. I think he is ready to take his next step. Did you know? So I know Ben Simmons is huge and he's not a traditional guard, but did you know that they haven't given this award to a guard since Gary Payton in '96, and Gary Payton is still the only point guard to ever win.
Wow, that's crazy.
They value this post interior shot blocking rim defending defense. And I think Bam is next in line after Giannis and Anthony Davis and all these guys, Dwight Howard in the past, all these guys through the last decade
Davis
or so.
Ever win it?
No, Davis didn't, but he's regarded as one of the best shot blockers.
Right.
You know, Rudy Gobert, these guys who show up and play defense inside in the paint. I think Bam is up next. You saw that block on Jason Tatum. The whole world saw that block on Jason Tatum in the bubble. I mean, this is a guy, I want to say Drew Holiday or Marcus Smart or someone who's a really good defender who can guard a lot of positions. But again, they don't value guards in this. And Bam is 23. He made the second team defense last year. And just like his rise and how meteoric it's been in the last year, I think he's ready to take this award sooner rather than later. The odds on this, in case you're curious, we have first is Anthony Davis.
Oh, Davis. Okay.
Yeah, I know. Then you have Gobert, who may be motivated after that new contract. So Giannis to repeat, and then Bam at plus 1,000. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Kawhi. I don't think he'll play enough games. Miles Turner, Marcus Smart, Draymond, Brooke Lopez, Rocco, Drew, Pascal, Kristaps. So interesting. I do think they'll give it to a big though, which could be Ben Simmons because he technically is a big. So, okay, Coach of the Year.
My Coach of the Year. A little bit of bias here, but Greg Popovich. Nobody predicts the Spurs to be in the playoffs except for this guy right here. And when they make it, and everyone's shocked because Keldon Johnson goes off, Lonnie Walker goes off, DeJounte Murray wins MVP. Popovich is going to be put up as Coach of the Year once again, and they're going to recognize that he's the greatest coach of all time.
72. He's going to win.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm looking this up now. He's won 3 times. That is ridiculous that he's only won 3 times.
Yeah.
The last time was 2014. So he's due. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't be surprised. I would never be surprised. That's like Bill Belichick winning Coach of the Year. You know,
right.
It's not. No, it would not be surprising. So mine is a little bit more surprising, and I'm gonna go Brad Stevens. I really like Brad Stevens. I've always liked Brad Stevens, and I think that he's gotten a lot of hate through the years because he's had so much talent. Whether it's been Kyrie, Isaiah Thomas, Al Horford, Gordon Hayward, guys who the Celtics have gotten to come to Boston, and they just never get it done. They haven't gotten it done since he's been there. And so now Brad Stevens has Jaylen Brown, who's I think going to be an all-star this year, Jason Tatum, who could be a top 5 MVP candidate this year. And there's no pressure with Gordon Hayward's contract and his previous relationship with him at Butler. He can just go out and coach. I think the Celtics make a run at the 1 seed. I think the Bucks end up getting it. But the Celtics are the number 2, I think. They make that leap from last year. I think that they just they're really close to that 1 seed and they outperform all expectations. I think this is Brad Stevens' year to develop that young talent and make something work in Boston, because I just think everything's perfect for them now to go out there. They have a big Kemba wants to bounce back and have a good year. This is the year for Brad Stevens to put it all together for the Celtics.
Not a bad take. I
my
mean,
spiel.
Brad Stevens is a pretty smart guy. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Do you want to know who the favorite is?
Yeah, I'm curious.
Can you guess?
I assume Nick Nurse wouldn't repeat. Budenholzer? I don't know.
That's a smart pick. They don't have him. They have him like really low on here for some reason. Steve Nash,
Really?
because Brooklyn's going to be good, I guess. But he's plus 900. That is 9-1 odds to win Coach of the Year. That is insane.
I would not bet on Steve Nash. That's too much ambiguity.
They have Spo at 2, Stevens at 3, Vogel 4, Carlisle at 5, Tyronn Lue at 6. He's not going to win. Monty Williams for Phoenix, I could see that. Mike Malone should have already won. His time's up. Doc Rivers, I don't think he's going to win. Stan Van Gundy, New Orleans, no. I think this is a team. It's going to have to be a good team.
Doc Rivers is in Philly now?
Yeah, I don't think
that team actually could. I mean, I don't know if he uses them the right way. Well, we'll see.
Yeah, I don't see Philly being better than a lot of the other teams in the East. But if they somehow are able to get the second seed, that could be. I mean, then the only difference is Doc, like literally the only difference, and Seth Curry,
and Danny Green.
Yeah, and Danny Green. Okay, well that wraps up all the awards and our predictions here. I want to go through a little bit of the playoffs and the dark horses that you think. So, are there any teams that didn't make it last year to the playoffs that you think will make it this year? I can start it off with my East teams, because there's 2 that I think are definitely going to make the playoffs, and that's the Hawks and the Wizards after their offseason moves. I love Denny and Westbrook to the Wizards, and the Hawks.
Those are such obvious picks.
I know, but it's still like you have to. Some teams have to leave for that to happen, right? So like, there's no guarantee. Like, did teams in the East get significantly worse? I can't think of any. The Magic I think they're going to outperform the Magic. I think some teams are going to have to fall off here, and I just think that the Hawks are going to make that step. They finished like with the 5th worst record in the.
Yeah, that's true.
So and the Wizards, I guess, almost made it last year, but I think they're going to make that leap. The Nets, obviously, like they were in it, but I think they're going to be a top 4 seed. Do you have any in the West? I can think of a couple.
I'll tell you, in the East, I had the Wizards, but also low key, I had the Hornets. I think.
Really?
I think the Gordon Hayward edition, if he really lives up to his potential, and LaMelo Ball, like imagine them both playing like everyone's like thinking that they're not going to do, but like if they both hit what like they're hoping to hit, like that could be a really fire team. And PJ Washington, who looks like he could be really good. I think the Hornets could be a dark horse playoff team. Not dark horse contender, but dark horse playoff team.
Do you think the Hawks make it?
Yeah.
So then tell me, so you have 3 teams who didn't make it last year making it. Let me read you the playoffs from last year. Bucks, Raptors, Celtics, Pacers, Heat, 76ers, Nets, Magic. I don't think the Magic make it. I think the Pacers could be put on notice, depending on how Sabonis comes back. So with that, I see the Hawks making that leap and the Wizards making the leap. What's the third team? You think the 76ers implode?
No.
The Raptors?
No, I don't think that's a good point.
It's tough. You got to make room,
Yeah, you got to make room. No, there's going to be 9 playoff teams this year.
Expansion.
Yeah, I didn't include the Hawks in my list. So
okay.
I think the Hawks are going to I mean, talent-wise, I obviously think they're better than the Hornets, but I just don't know how they're going to flow. And I guess the Hornets is more of like a dark horse what-if team.
And look, the Hornets way outperformed the Hawks last year. The Hawks were 20-47. The Hornets were 23-42. Now, it's not like way, but
it's not way.
No, but they were 10th and the Hawks were 14th in the East. So in terms of standings and like head-to-head, like they were up there. They were really close. So you had LaMelo Ball, you had Gordon Hayward. I could see that jump. But someone's going to have to give there, and I don't know who it's going to be. The West, get ready. This is even harder because wouldn't you agree that the Pelicans are ready to make the jump with Zion, Brandon Ingram, and Steven Adams, and Eric Bledsoe,
and Lonzo,
and the 54th best player in the league according to ESPN, Lonzo Ball. The Suns are probably ready to make that leap with Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. People would assume. The Warriors are ready to get back in it with James Wiseman, Draymond, Steph, and Wiggins. And Memphis was right there and was in the play-in game with Portland, and now is going to have another season of John Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. and company. So who doesn't make it back? The Thunder? Thunder out, I would say, right? I mean, they shipped off their whole team.
For sure.
So there's one spot. There's 3 other teams now, and that's not including the Spurs, who you said are going to make the playoffs. So I think the only teams you can count out right now are the Kings and the Thunder, because even the Timberwolves, with a full season of Cat and D'Lo and now Anthony Edwards, they looked a little frisky the other night against the Mavs in the preseason. So I don't think you can even count them out. So then who?
I took Cat last night in my draft, and I was pretty happy with that.
He's gonna have a good season. So who doesn't make it here? You think the Rockets don't make it? You think the Jazz?
The Jazz, maybe, honestly.
But they're so good.
They're a great regular season team.
The Jazz, the Jazz still have Bojan Bogdanovic and Ingles and Conley, in addition to Mitchell and Gobert. And Clarkson. This is a team that is better than all those teams we just said. But yet the Suns with Paul and Booker.
Wow, that is tough. There's a lot of good teams now.
This is going to be really tough. And the Pelicans. How does a team with Zion and Brandon Ingram and Steven Adams and JJ Redick and Lonzo and Josh Hart and Eric Bledsoe, how does that team not make the playoffs? This is going to be
that's a good question.
Not looking good for your Spurs.
Not looking great for my Spurs, which is okay because we're going to get Cade Cunningham, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But best case scenario, we win the championship next year and all is good.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm a huge Mavs homer, okay? But this is not looking good for the Mavs because I don't consider the Mavs in that upper echelon elite yet. They're knocking on the door. They have a great potential over the next 5 to 10 years. But I say the Trailblazers are still better than the Mavs. I think the Jazz are still better than the Mavs. I think right now, James Harden, the Rockets are still better than the Mavs. I think the Nuggets and the Clippers.
We'll see what happens with them, though, because if they trade Harden, I don't know.
Yeah, but if John Wall comes back healthy and it's John Wall, James Harden, and Christian Wood and DeMarcus Cousins, and PJ Tucker and Eric Gordon, that team is still better than the Mavs. So
yeah.
I think the Mavs can get there, but the Grizzlies are coming really fast. The Suns just added a ton of talent. The Pelicans are coming really fast. The Timberwolves, I can see them as being better. The Warriors, they may not be as good. I could see the Warriors and Timberwolves not making it again this year. But, man, it is going to be a race for the final 5 to 8 in the West for sure. That's why this is going to be so exciting. All right, do you have a finals matchup that you want to predict so we can come back to this and always pull from it when you're wrong?
For sure. I don't want to get too basic and just say Lakers Bucks. So I'm gonna say Clippers Bucks. I think Clippers, since they had that embarrassing loss last year, are being counted out a lot. And everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be the Lakers, for sure. But and they got a lot better. But I think Ibaka was a huge addition to the Clippers. And I think that's still and I think I was reading about how Paul George was talking about how Doc didn't use him right and kind of used him as this Ray Allen type character when that's not how he plays. And so I think if Paul George is used in the right way, this guy used to be an all NBA. He was second or third in MVP voting a couple years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, right? So you have elite talent on the Clippers, a wing talent, which it's a wing game now, right? So I think the Clippers could very well get there, and people are sleeping on them now. And then Bucks, Drew Holiday was a great addition. They're deep. I think they're the best defensive team in the NBA. With Giannis and Drew and Chris, it's a fire trio. So yeah, I'd go Bucks Clippers.
I agree with the Bucks. I think they're going to come back with a vengeance. This is Giannis's turn to take his revenge, and just now he's going to have home court advantage. This means a lot more to do well in the regular season. I think you're counting out also the role players in addition to that big three. Bryn Forbes, great signing. You know him very well.
Miss him.
I think adding guys like Torrey Craig, even Bobby Portis, even things that don't seem like it's that big of a deal. These guys fill roles, and they played well on other teams, and they're going to come in and play well in second units for them. So,
yeah.
And TJ Augustine, I really like this team. So that's a pretty easy one for me because I don't want to go way too out there and say the Nets or something, because I could see Kyrie imploding that team, or Durant's Achilles not holding up, unfortunately. But I hope all is well with them. I just think the Bucks make it. I am going to go really bland, even though I've been a little out there with the rest of this podcast. I'm going to say the Lakers for the reasons that you said why they're such a popular pick. They got better. LeBron, I'm basically banking on LeBron to keep doing unprecedented things in his 18th season, to keep playing like it's his 11th season, and to keep playing like this rejuvenated LeBron. Anthony Davis keep getting better. Trez, Schroeder, those guys I think had the two most bench points in the league last year, and they added him to this team. So I like where the Lakers are going. I'm going to say Lakers and Bucks. I think the Bucks win, though. I just think Giannis has too much fire in him. He's going to go all the way.
Yeah, I agree. You're saying Bucks winning it all?
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't know who I'd choose to win it all between the Bucks and the Clippers. Since you picked the Bucks, I'll pick the Clippers.
Right.
I think they're kind of they got embarrassed last year, and that's 7. They're up
3-1.
3-1, yeah, and they got embarrassed. I think they're pretty mad about that, and they're going to prove something. I really think that Serge Ibaka addition, I really like that a lot.
They needed it.
They really needed that.
With Trez leaving.
Trez left. Yeah, that's big, but Ibaka is a huge addition. With Zubac, the man who put up 20 and 10 against the Mavs or something.
Of course.
So I mean, yeah, I think that Clippers team is gonna be fire, and I'll pick them as my champions next year.
Ibaka's big because Trez couldn't guard a lot of the really good bigs when push came to shove, and Jokic and Davis. And Ibaka is a great defender, and that's someone who can guard power forward, centers alike, just protect the paint. So I do really like that addition. Has a little bit more refined offensive game too. All right, last thing I want to do is just predict some first-time All-Stars. I like to do this. Last year I said John Collins. That didn't happen because he got suspended for drugs. So hopefully none of these guys get suspended. I'm going to say Jamal Murray, Ja Morant, Jaylen Brown, and CJ McCollum, with Westbrook and CP3 not making it out west to clear a little bit of room. And then I don't know how it's going to work out in the East, but that's my projection.
Westbrook is East now.
That's what I meant. Sorry. CP3 not making it out of the West. Oh, no. Sorry, that is what I meant. CP3 not making it out of the West, and Westbrook now being out of the West opens up a spot.
Oh, right.
You got it. You know what I'm saying? CP3 won't make it this year, and Westbrook isn't in the West anymore. So there's 2 more spots from last year that I think Jamal Murray, Ja Morant, CJ McCollum can compete for. Maybe one of the other ones just sneaks in, and then Jaylen Brown makes it out of the East. So
nice.
Do you have any additions to that?
Yeah, my only big addition is DeJounte Murray. He's going to be all-star starter this year, captain, and he's a beast. And did you see the Spurs Fiesta jerseys?
Those are really nice.
They're really nice. I want to get one.
Ones.
It's really frustrating though, because there's not a player who I like. There's no clear player to get right now. Because I like DeJounte Murray, but I don't know if he's a franchise player.
Aldridge will be timeless.
I guess, but he never
because of
I don't know.
Because of UT and he's probably going to retire a Spur. He was an all-star with the Spurs. You could get an Aldridge one, and that will be cool because he'll be a Hall of Famer someday.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. I guess Aldridge would be a solid pick. I just wish we had a Luka or somebody to really be I'm gonna wait probably till after the season and see if they do throwback jerseys. I'd love to get a Ginobili one like that.
Nice.
But otherwise, yeah, Aldridge could be the move. He's just so boring, bro. But I guess all the Spurs are.
But UT, it's really cool that he's come full circle with his Texas roots. So I would go there. Speaking of Ginobili, we are going to mention him later on in this podcast when we do our fan mail, and Today in History and birthdays will also be on Unmasked when we come back. So stay tuned. That was our NBA preview, and we'll be right back with December 22nd. And we are back on Unmasked and ready to dive into December 22nd. It is almost Christmas. How was your Hanukkah, by the way? I don't think we ever talked about that.
It's fire. I got some pretty nice gifts. What about you?
It was really nice. I got some really cool stuff.
What'd you get?
Trying to think of like the coolest thing. Okay, my parents got me Bill Simmons' book, which is the book of basketball.
Oh, book of basketball, dude. I love the rankings in there. That's like my favorite part.
Yeah, the pyramid.
Yeah.
I've been listening to his podcast so much, and I always reference it, and so they got me the book. Really love that. My dad got me.
Yet or not yet?
No, not yet. I haven't read it yet. But my dad got me the Mavs retro like reunion arena logo with like the green basketball and the M with the cowboy hat that they're going to be bringing back this year. And so they made like a retro Nike shirt of it. And so now I can wear that whenever they sport those green jerseys. What about you?
Got this hat I've been wearing a lot.
Nice. I have that same one.
Hat from, what else? I got some new shoes. I would show you them, but I think they're in the other room. They're pretty nice. Some Nike Air Maxes. It's pretty chill.
Well, to all our Jewish listeners, happy Hanukkah. To everyone else, Merry Christmas, happy holidays.
Happy Kwanzaa.
We are very, very happy to be coming to you during this holiday season. And today, December 22nd, is especially happy. 2003, December 22nd, Isaiah Thomas, the bad boy, not IT, was named the Knicks president of basketball operations. He traded away a bunch of future first-round picks, pretty much right away, for Eddie Curry. Big yikes on that one. In March, Leon Rose was named the new president of basketball operations this year. So that's a big transition. That's 17 years. But I'm referencing that position for the Knicks. And now talking about their present day president of basketball ops. He took OB number 8 and Emmanuel quickly led in the first round. He signed Austin Rivers and Nerlens Noel. So my question to you is, can Leon Rose avenge the ghost of Isaiah Thomas, and can he turn this ship around? How long until the Knicks make the playoffs?
Dude, it's going to be a while. They're just such a cursed organization.
So bad.
I mean, their team has always been I can't even say it's always been good. They've always had, like, throughout history, they're always, like, with Patrick Ewing days, right? And they had, like, the Melo days, some time in between. But
they only won one playoff series with Melo.
Really, yeah, that's unfortunate. They were like a second seed, though, right?
They beat the Celtics one year, and that was it. It was like the only time they beat them.
Yeah, they're pretty cursed. I read something saying that they have 10 first-round or lottery picks in their team right now. But their best player, though, arguably, is Mitch Robinson, who was picked in the second round. So they're just not the best drafters. I just don't think it's going to be for a while unless OB is just a sensational player, which he could be. Yeah. RJ Barrett steps up a lot. Mitch Robinson, I picked him last night in fantasy basketball. Nice. A little bit higher than he should have gone.
Block machine.
So, yeah, he's a block machine. I think he could be pretty solid. Just getting a lot of those garbage stats for the Knicks. Don't think they're going to be in the playoffs for another next 5 years. Probably not.
I'm going to say 2024 is my projection. The 2024-2025 season.
They have a lot of great trade value, though.
Yeah, they have Kevin Knox. You could put up for sale. Elfrid Payton, Dennis Smith Jr. guys who are young still has some stuff there. But
right. I mean, RJ seems like their franchise player, but I don't know if he really is.
It doesn't make sense for them to trade for someone now, though, because they're not like one piece away.
Yeah, right.
They're not like a Gordon Hayward away from, that's like what Charlotte did, and I just don't think that'll work out. It wouldn't make sense for them to bring in like a Bradley Beal, for instance, or Westbrook, unless they just want to create buzz and make New York exciting again. Which
dude, because honestly, like I think I was big about the Westbrook going there because at the end of the day, like, yes, you want your team to win the championship and stuff, but you also it's so as a franchise, like, you want to bring some excitement to your fans, and just every individual game counts. So for sure. Westbrook winning a couple games is is like I think worth it in the long run, even if like I don't know.
Yeah, because you're not going anywhere either way, so you might as well sell some more tickets, sell some jerseys.
It's also like something to like hold on to for the fans, you know.
The Wizards did that, and I like that. They love John Wall, but from like an excitement perspective, a Westbrook Beal backcourt with 2 top 10 picks from the last 2 years, like that's exciting. That can bring people towards.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think that has a lot of potential too.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, just last year, December 22nd, 2019, Michael Thomas set the catch record with 144 on the season, breaking Marvin Harrison's 17-year record. Just want to say a little rip to all his fantasy owners this year who spent a first rounder on him. Me. The Saints put him on IR to save him for the playoffs, the real playoffs, but weren't really taking into account fantasy playoffs. So I guess at this point, if you have him, you're not in the playoffs, so it doesn't matter anyway. But sorry to anyone who took him.
I do have to say one of my good friends who I think we're gonna bring on eventually, Jake. He drafted Michael Thomas in the first round and still somehow made the playoffs in our league.
Wow.
Through getting, I think DK Metcalf was huge for them.
Oh, yeah.
So I gotta give him some respect for going into the playoffs without your first round. That's pretty impressive.
I saw someone who took Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, Dak Prescott. I forgot there were some other ones. Just everyone who's had Odell, guys who've had season-ending injuries, and it was really unfortunate. Like every round that he took, Will Fuller, who got suspended. Just like every pick that he took Tyler Boyd, who's really happy about, and then Joe Burrow got injured, so he's like useless now. There's all these guys. I felt so bad for him, but
well, that pretty much happened to me. I took Nick Chubb really high, and he was out for most of the season. And I took Cortland Sutton in like the 4th round.
Ooh, yeah,
and he was out immediately. So yeah, I mean, I got pretty plagued. And Zach Ertz, I took like 5th round or something. He was terrible, and then got hurt. So like it was just like double, like whatever.
Oh, this guy took George Kittle too. So there you go.
Wow, that's pretty tough.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's today in history. Now on to birthdays. Not a lot of birthdays today. Zach Britton, the 2016 reliever of the year, New York Yankee.
Oh, there's something you missed on today in history.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday in history. Your sister won regional president of BBYO.
Yeah, congrats to my sister,
That's
Hallie
huge.
Stimblitz. She is the new regional NISIA or president of North Texas, Oklahoma region, BBYO.
Yeah.
Makes me so proud every day. So I love you, Hallie.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she is amazing. Zach is a former regional president himself. Don't shy away from that. Not too shabby. So yeah, just a lot of love for BYO today. Anyway, happy birthday, Zach Britton. You're 33 today. You're great. Everson Griffin, former Cowboy for a hot minute, 33 also. Megan Trainor is 27 because it's all about that bass. DaBaby is 29. Probably my favorite new rapper out there. I love DaBaby. Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer / Grayson Allen's doppelganger, is 50. Naomi Biden, granddaughter of Joe.
Wow.
These are just celebrity birthdays. We ran out of athletes. There's no one. Naomi Biden, granddaughter of Joe, daughter of his late daughter, Naomi, who died in the car crash. This Naomi is the granddaughter, and she is 27. Jordan Sparks, Love is a Battlefield. She is 31. And that rounds out our very underwhelming birthdays today on December 22nd. But happy birthday to all. And if I missed you, my apologies. So let's move into fan mail because now we actually have an email that is working. And please, I'm gonna drop it right here. You should see it under me if you're on YouTube. unmaskedpodcast1@gmail.com. You can email it with questions that we can do for fan mail, or you can just have suggestions for different segments that we do, things that we talk about, anything you want. You can email it there. Also, you can DM us on any accounts that are in the description below. Again, all right. Here's fan mail. Ready?
Yes.
This one is from Big Apple 7@gmail.com. All right. In Pop Smoke's Hello, he says, "I'm the king of New York." Mello also says, "I'm a Europe boy, Ginobili." So my question is twofold.
I like your impression of him.
Thank you. I'm a Euro boy Ginobili. He says it so fast. I didn't know what he was saying until. Okay. Is Melo the greatest New York athlete ever? And
No.
is Ginobili the greatest European basketball player ever? That's all he said. I have my own opinions on this. So let's hear. You want me to go first? Because I have a pretty strong opinion.
Yeah, go first.
So I think that both of these athletes are synonymous with those titles or places, but are not the best to ever do it in those places. So for instance, Melo growing up in Brooklyn, winning at Syracuse, forcing a trade to the Knicks, he embodies New York. Like he is like the New York athlete. Like Melo is very New York, but he's not the best New York athlete of all time at all, like by any means. Like Ewing, if you want to say Nick, or there's so many, Joe Namath, like so many different sports there. Ginobili with his Euro step and his Argentinian career, like he embodies Euro basketball. Dirk is the best European player of all time. Like that's not even up for debate. So I think they both like embody it and are synonymous with those ideas, but are not the best all time in those areas.
Wait. Ginobili's not from Europe.
What?
From Argentina.
Is that? Oh my God, I'm so stupid. Yeah, you're right. But he embodies a Euro step. That's
Right,
like,
okay.
yeah. So that's
Yeah, that threw me off for a sec.
that's a
I think
flaw.
he's probably the best South American basketball player of all time.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, you know what? Probably. Thank you, Big Apple 7. Big Apple 7 probably meant international player. Would be my guess.
Okay. That's a little.
Which to me would be Hakeem. But
Yeah, I give the nod to Hakeem. But I see what you're saying in terms of like he has like the European like style or whatever.
then why did Pop Smoke say that?
He's probably talking about the Euro step, right?
I'm a Europe boy, Ginobili.
I think
I
he's
don't
just
know.
culturally insensitive.
That's very insensitive, Pop Smoke. You threw off Big Apple 7. You threw off us. You know what? That's it. I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. Pop Smoke has ruined it for all of us.
Yeah, no hate though, no hate.
No hate. Yeah, don't come back at us. All right. Well, this was exciting to get back on the bandwagon here. Unmasked is officially back. I guess we can call this season 2, maybe. I don't know. It's like semester 2 for us. So
Season 2, baby.
all right. We are now, like I said, on YouTube. So you can hit that subscribe button below if you're still watching this. All our accounts are in the description. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. We're going to be posting some stuff. We got some exciting stuff ready for TikTok for sure. That's where we're going to live because, Zach, I don't know if you know, but I'm TikTok famous. So
Really?
check out at Jordan Sternblitz. I'm pretty sure that's my name. Don't wear it out. I'm approaching 600,000 views. So check me out. My dad wants me to link the Unmasked account to our video that we made together because he thinks that he can gain some fame from it. So I told him I would only do that if we were going to have him on the podcast and we could duet that video with a promo saying, check out this guy in this video. He's going to be coming on. So, who knows? There may be a surprising guest in a couple of weeks. I think we should have him try to pronounce really tough names like Giannis Antetokounmpo. That'd be really fun. Oh, speaking of that, I listened back to our very first Unmasked podcast. You guys can go listen. Bubble Babies, top 10 under 25 in the bubble. And Zach, you completely botched Bam Adebayo's name.
I remember that.
I was like, I listened back, and at the time, I thought it was right because, like, he was good, but like no one knew he was like that good, and then he just completely made a name for himself in the bubble. So
Bam.
It's like Abadayo.
Yeah, I actually remember that.
All right. Well, let's get out of here. Everyone enjoy your Christmas. We will be coming back to you pretty soon, hopefully. Zach, I can't wait to see you in person, man.
Yeah, soon, for sure.
Soon.
This week.
All right. Take care, everyone. Peace.
Peace.